I'm going to share with you the video of when I painted the cherry blossom painting, and I hope that you will enjoy it. So I'm just gonna do voiceover on this video so that you can see what I did, and I will explain it a little bit. So first of all, this is a 5x7, and I wet the whole paper, and then I dropped in some cerulean blue and just dropped it in different places. My hope here is that I want to create areas of light and areas of dark, so it's not just one solid color. And then I took just clean water and I splattered it. And the reason I did that is because when you add water, if you look closely where the drops of water go, they push out the color, and that created more white space. And then I went back over with some more cerulean blue, just a heavier concentration, and put that over it, and that was just to create my background. Now there's a little bit of a break, and that is because I'm mixing together some of the cerulean blue with indigo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move around the outside of this painting. And I did bring in some into the painting itself to again create these shadows and the depth, and you can kind of see the depth there. Now I'll go around the outside. I didn't paint from corner to corner because I wanted that white rough look, and adding this indigo around the outside helps create more of that ruggedness, or kind of like an angst, you know. You can just kind of feel a little bit of like it's a tearing. Anyway, I just wanted to create kind of a mood with that. I do go around with the tissue and soak up where the color is pooling, because otherwise that could cauliflower on me, which actually could be pretty fun. I'm not opposed to cauliflowers, I actually like them a lot, but sometimes it also buckles there, and I did not want that. So I go around the outside where the color is pooling, and then I let that dry. Now I started with the flowers. I'm using white gouache here, and I'm just creating a couple little buds and not actually the flower. I just wanted to see how the gouache was going to work over the color that I did, and I could see that it worked really well. So then I moved to create one of the blooms, and there are 5 petals, and this is going to be a lot of petals by the time this is over. And I want to say something about that right away, because all these petals can be really tedious, but it's a cherry blossom, which is a very peaceful painting, a very peaceful picture. And if you come at this as a meditative kind of way of just being there, being present, this can be, repetition can be really good for the nervous system, really calming for the nervous system, but not if you're in a hurry. So just take your time and enjoy making these petals. So then I went back and I got some alizarin crimson and dropped that in, and it bled into the petal, and I really liked the way it turned out. So I brought some into the bottom of each of these little buds as well. And really what I'm doing here is figuring out what I want to do, and I'm realizing, okay, I think I need to actually start with the stems. So I'm gonna move after I do a couple more flowers, I'm going to move to the stems. Okay, so I found that if I turned it sideways, it was a little easier for me to make the stems. I'm using just a very creamy indigo here, and I'm just trying to figure it out, really. So just pulling out branches and just seeing where they need to go. And I've decided, I'm just gonna do the branch stuff, and then will fill in the flowers once I feel like I know where the branches are going to go. So my brush is pretty dry and I'm having a hard time. I really need to load my brush better. So I think that's what I'm doing here. We'll see in a moment. I'm coming off from the side, and if you'll notice, I'm not using the tip, even though it kind of looks like it. I had better results by laying my brush flat and pulling it for ways. And then when I got to the tips, I went to the tip of the brush. When I was going for the main part of the branch, I'm doing it again here. You can see, again, my brush is not loaded, but I'm loading my brush, and now I'm gonna put the whole flatness of the brush down and just kind of turn the brush, turn it a little bit to make it a thicker, kind of a more uneven and wiggly branch. So that was just a little trick that I learned while I was doing this, was to just lay the branch down sideways and pull and turn the handle of the brush, roll it a bit as I was pulling it. And then I come out and I'm doing thinner little wisps of branches. I'm gonna go back multiple times to the base of this just because I did want it to have a little bit more, just be darker and have more value. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry that it went off the page a little bit here and there, but this is basically it. And so I just keep going and putting in more brush, more branches and more branches and more branches. And I'm going to speed this along so that you can see in more of what I got done, because it just did take a little bit of time. Not really that long. I probably worked on the branches for at the most 10 minutes. So this is really a free flow. You just kind of have to go, I'm just going to pull a branch here, pull a branch there. And I did go back and darken once I kind of really knew what I wanted. I went back and made these branches, the main branches, and even the little wispy branches darker. But this is a really good view where you can see where I'm just pulling the brush and rolling it to make kind of a thicker branch. Eventually I'm going to turn this so that I can have a better view of what I'm doing. And now I'll just add more longer branches and fill in what needs to be filled in. Okay, so now I have my branches. For the most part, I will go back in and darken some more. And now I'm just going to go through and do the work of creating all the little blossoms. And it worked well to do a few of the white blossoms and then bring in the crimson. I always have a hard time saying alizarin crimson. So you can see here, I'm going to drop some in, and at first it really bleeds out kind of nicely, but it ended up that it was too wet, and so you really couldn't see the darkness that I wanted. So I actually end up going back to these flowers and putting in a darker, after it dries a little bit, putting in the darker alizarin crimson, so that they're not just this pale pink. You can see the two that are in the center there. One that I did when it was a little bit drier, and the other one when it was still really wet. And you can see how the pink just blended in to the white. And so the same thing might happen here. Let's see. Looks like the same thing's going to happen here. I'll have to come back in and make those darker. But from here on, I'm just going to allow this to play, so you can just watch the placement of the flowers. I'll just have the music going, and you can watch as I place the flowers and go back in. Look how much better it is with the darker alizarin crimson. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this part. I will at some point speed it up because I don't think you want to sit here for 5 minutes while I put all these flowers in, but enjoy. So you can see that I got far, and now it's just a matter of looking at it and putting in the last few flowers here and there, but we're close to being finished, and I hope that you have been able to follow along and enjoy this. I would love to hear your questions. I would really love to see what you create, and let me know how this went for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would like to see more, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Watercolor Healing, and that's where I share a lot, and I have a lot of tutorials there as well. I really appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy, and please share photos of what you create.